here we go. What? What? What in the I'm really happy to be reviewing these watches. Not only are they damn interesting to me, but I think you're not going to find many videos about them. That's kind of what I think the purpose of this channel is, to share things that I think are interesting and not necessarily what's popular. That's why I asked Topper Jewelers if I could borrow these for a week. As usual, the people at Topper have been super cool to work with. Both of these watches are from the Rado True Square collection, and both are the result of collaborations with designers outside of Rado. This yellow one was designed by British industrial designer Tej Chauhan, and it's simply referred to as the True Square Tej Chauhan. This blue one was designed by Indian visual artist Thukral Tagra. This one is called the True Square Over the Abyss. These watches are so unexpected and so unusual for mechanical watches. In the few days that I've been wearing them, several people have mistaken these for smartwatches. I kinda like that. I think part of the appeal of these watches is that they're a bit subversive. They're not what you expect from an old school timepiece, and I think that's the point. Watches don't have to look like a Rolex Submariner or a Timex Weekender. You might want your watch to look that way, but there are a few of us out there that feel a bit bolder, stranger, or more obnoxious. There's a fine line. Let's start with what these watches have in common. First is their case shape, case dimensions, and case material. Both watches are 38mm across, 48mm long, and just 10mm thick. Their shape and design is identical, and so is the material, ceramic. Rado has been at the vanguard of ceramic watches, and I really admire them for that. They brought ceramic cases and ceramic bracelets to an affordable level. No other large brand has done so much ceramic for well under $3,000. Ceramic is lighter than steel and way more scratch resistant. You can also make ceramic in just about any color, from deep navy blue to burn your eyes out yellow. Both watches have 50 meters of water resistance, and both use the same movement. Inside these is the relatively new ETA C07. The C07 is also known as the Powermatic 80, and it was designed to slowly replace the long-used ETA 2824. The main advantage this has over the 2824 is that the C07, the Powermatic 80, has 80 hours of power reserve. The only difference in the movements used in these two watches is that one has a date and one does not. So no date and also no time? What exactly is going on here? No, you can actually tell the time with this watch. You simply say, "Hey Rado, what time is it?" "Hey Rado, hey, time, you, there." Okay, fine. That's not how you do it. The actual way is by reading the two white markings on the rays? The ray with the white tip is the minute hand, and the ray with the white dash at its center is the hour hand. It's not easy, and it can be especially tricky when the minute rays cover the hour rays. But at that point it's kind of like a regulator watch. The hands, if you can call them that, sit above a super glossy dark blue dial. The whole effect is, well, they refer to this one as the Abyss, so that's appropriate. The yellow Tej Chauhan is far more legible as a timepiece. There's a whole retro futuristic thing going on here. It's 1982's interpretation of the year 2000. Which kinda reminds me of how lame the actual year 2000 really was. The dial is concave like a bowl, and the markers follow that curve. The crystal also reflects that shape. It's kind of faceted, leaving a flat circle at the center. The date wheel is wild, using what looks like a custom and inscrutable font. Rather than using a bracelet like the Abyss, the Chauhan uses a padded leather strap and a deployant clasp. The casebacks of both watches are interesting. On the Abyss is a piece of art by the designers. I don't know what it is, but it's cool. On the back of the Chauhan is a small tinted window showing just a glimpse of the Powermatic movement. On my 7-inch wrist, both watches look great. As a square 38mm watch, these wear larger than a round 38mm watch. I'd say if you're good with a round 40mm, you'll be good with a square 38. Especially in ceramic since it's lighter. The price of the Over the Abyss is $2,770, and the price of the Tej Chauhan is $1,800. They're both relatively affordable for ceramic timepieces, and I assume the price difference between the two is due to the bracelet. I love the idea of a nearly scratch-resistant bracelet. I'd like to talk a big game about, oh, scratches are just a part of life, but that's aspirational. I live in constant fear of scratches. In Harry Potter, when they have to use a spell against their greatest fear, the thing I'd have to face is a gouge on a new watch. So ceramic really appeals to me. Between these two watches, I prefer the yellow one, even though I'm a bracelet guy. I think my preference comes down to legibility. I do very much like the symmetry and simplicity of the Abyss watch, but I just can't read it at a quick glance. Though I admit that my eyesight is going, I just turned 40, so I'm basically falling apart. I really like these more than I expected to. Now, I know I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I totally would. If I saw someone wearing one of these Rados, and someone else wearing something like a Patek Nautilus, you can bet I'd be striking up a conversation with the person wearing one of these. Yeah, they might be a total weirdo, but I want to party with them. I think any good watch should tell a story about the person wearing it. Maybe you own a Speedmaster because you're into space travel, or maybe you own a Rainbow Daytona because you're an insufferable show-off. So what did these watches say about a person? I think they say that this person's a little strange and brave and maybe a little bored by traditional Swiss watches. And I kind of admire that. And I kind of admire Rado too for making these true square collaborations. Nice work, everyone.